Hey, welcome back to the Resort Mom. Today we are talking about my family's favorite value resort, Disney's Pop Century Resort. This is such a fun one, and I feel like a lot of people rave about this resort. It's a very popular resort at Walt Disney World for a lot of reasons, and so we're going to get into all of that today. Also, P.S. the cicadas are out, so if you hear some background noise, just hopefully it goes along with the vibes. So let's go over a high-level overview of the resort itself, and then we'll get into all of the nitty-gritty details like the rooms and the amenities and all that jazz. So first and foremost, Pop Century Resort was built in 2003 at Walt Disney World. It probably was built before that. It started building. It opened in 2003, okay. The theme of this resort is really fun. It's like decade themed, so all the way from the 50s to the 90s, so your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and these are your different sections of the resort. So when you go in, you have the lobby, which is structured exactly like pretty much every other value resort at Walt Disney World. You have your cafeteria in here, you have your check-in area, you have the gift shop, you have the arcade, and then you have like the bus stop and all of that over off to the right. So the theming of Pop Century is so fun. It's just cool to be able to walk around and like see all the different sections and see all of the different areas. Just like at the value resorts, every section is themed to something different, which is really fun. So even if you don't like love the theming of the section that you're staying in, you can go and walk around easily to the other sections and go check out all that they have, the different characters that they have in those sections, the different like larger than life like statues. I mean, we're gonna call them statues. I don't really know what else you call them. But like the larger in life builds that you're gonna go check out. So like characters you're gonna see here, there's like Mickey on the little payphone. You've got Goofy with his surfboard. You've got Roger Rabbit. You have Mowgli and Baloo. You have Lady and the Tramp. And there's just like tons of different like kind of random characters. Like you have Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, but also like cool fun nods to each of those decades. So you've got like big Play-Doh containers, big like bowling pins and stuff. You've got big, what are they called? Yo-yo. I'm like, what is that called? Yo-yo, foosball, like just so many cool different things that are like really cool to show your kids. And there's also a lot of room, in my opinion, for your kids to like kind of run around and explore and play, which is a huge plus for us because we have two very, very active kids. So here at Pop Century, you have two different room types. You have, so you won't have suite options. You just have your like, I'm gonna say standard room, but you have standard rooms and then preferred rooms. Standard rooms, and that's basically like the difference of standard and preferred is basically where you are and what section you're going to be in. And preferred is going to be where you are closer to the like dining area and all of the amenities. So one of the most popular like sections for Pop Century is the 1960s section. That is a preferred area. You have easy quick walk to the Skyliner, easy quick walk to the cafeteria and to the lobby, and then also you're right there at the Hippy Dippy pool. I think it's called the Hippy Dippy pool. I'm pretty sure. You also have two different view options. So you have like a standard view option and a pool view option. I'm pretty sure this is how they are labeled, but double check with your travel agent because again, I am not an expert on room types. I just like kind of generally know what they are, but I am not like, please double check with your travel agent, okay? But that's what, I'm pretty sure it's a standard view and a pool view. And just to clarify, you can have a pool view room in a standard room. So you don't have to have a preferred room. So you have like a preferred room, pool view, and then you have a standard room, pool view. And that pool would be the bowling pin pool. And then there's one other pool. I forget the name of it. I think it's the one with like the typewriter and the computer. Actually, I don't even think it's a typewriter. I don't know why I said it's a typewriter. I think it's like legit a keyboard. I think it's a computer because they have like the keyboard that my kids love to dance on, like in front of it on the ground. I don't know. There are two other pools that you could have a pool view for in a standard room. Okay, so let's talk food here at Pop Century. And I'm so sorry. For some reason, I have like zero content of the cafeteria and the lobby. My kids must have been like acting a fool every time I've ever been in there. But I've been in there multiple times and I just like have no videos. I don't know why. So you're just gonna have to sit here and listen to me yap about it and probably go Google some images if you want to see what it looks like. So like every other value resort, you have your gift shop and you have the cafeteria where you can mobile order, quick service type food. You have your classics like Mickey waffles, pizza, burgers, like whatever, you know, food. You can check on the menu to see if you're gonna like the food that they serve there, but it's generic, like, you know, your kids are gonna be fine here if you have picky eaters. What I do like about having like the cafeteria option, and a lot of people are like, I don't want to eat in a cafeteria every day, but you just have a lot of selections. I feel like they do a good job of having multiple selections. You also have your grab and go items, which is really nice if you want to just grab something to go and take it with you. And then they do have the famous tie-dye cheesecake here, which I don't have a picture of it. I have had it. It's very good. But yeah, you've probably seen it. I don't know. It's like one of those viral snacks, but it's here at Pop Century. I think it's one of the best cafeterias of the value resorts, but like I said, most of them have similar offerings, so you know, it is what it is. And also you have Petals Pool Bar, which I've heard is really great. I've heard that they have great selections. People love Petals. They talk about Petals all the time. It's just a cool, like, groovy vibe. And this also has a mug refill station at the pool bars. So just FYI. So speaking of pools, you have 3 different options here. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but you have the Hippy Dippy pool. I did double check to make sure that that's what it's called. It is what it's called. It's pretty nice pool, big pool. This is where like right next to Petals, like so you come out of the lobby, there's Petals right here on the right, there's the big pool. You've got like Baloo and Mowgli over here. I think like Play-Doh over here. I'm literally going from memory right now, like where everything is laid out. And then, so behind the Hippy Dippy pool, you have the splash pad area, which I love this splash pad at Pop Century because it's gated. It's fully gated and fenced in, so your kiddos cannot run from the splash pad area over to the big pool, which is a big deal if you have toddlers. Like, I feel like some people would think this is insignificant, but when I tell you, if you have a runner, like I have, it is a good thing. Because at Art of Animation, they have this super cool, fun Finding Nemo splash pad, but the big blue pool is literally right next to it, and there's nothing but chairs, like people, and I can't tell you how many times my kids have ran from the splash pad over to Big Blue Pool, and I'm like getting up like, oh, I gotta follow them in. So yes, it is very nice that that is a place where like you can actually be like, hey guys, yeah, we're going to the pool, but I'm not swimming. I'm gonna sit here and chill and watch you guys play, and you don't have to worry about them running into the other pool. You can just go in your clothes, lock the gate, and say, this is what we're doing. But you can't lock the gate, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it's not a crazy, like super cool, awesome splash pad that your kids are gonna like rave about, but it is a little splashy area. It's a little bit more than a baby pool because it's like got the vibes and it like, you know, bursts water out, but whatever. It's great for toddlers and little kids. Then you also have the bowling pool. It's shaped like a bowling pin. And then you have the computer pool. It is called the computer pool. They also have the playground, which the one thing I love about this playground is that number one, it's shaded. And number two, it is not in sand. So all of the All-Star resorts, their playgrounds are in sand. This does have, it has some rubber mulch and then it has some like standard mulch, but it's not like as anywhere near as messy as the sand. And if you have your little kids play in sand when they're sweaty and they're falling down and then it gets all in their shoes and then it just gets everywhere, that is a perk I will call out. And we definitely are the type that like will use a resort playground for sure. So that is a bonus for us that it's not in the sand. I alluded to this earlier, but you also have the arcade, which is nice. It's really great for those hot days, rainy days, and the arcades are super fun. We love the arcades at Disney World. My kids are always wanting to go into the arcade, and it may seem like something like dumb that you're like, I don't want my family to do that. We're at Disney World. We didn't come here to go to an arcade. Trust me, your kids are gonna love it. And they have massage chairs, so if you wanna let your kids run free in the arcade and you can swipe your little card and sit in one of the massage chairs, just probably wipe them down before you sit in it. Pro tip. You've got like pool games, rec activities, movies under the stars, like all of that here, like you do at every single Disney resort, which is really fun. Next, let's talk transportation. One of the key highlights of why people love Pop Century Resort is because it has Skyliner access, which is awesome for a value resort. Art of Animation and Pop Century share the same Skyliner location, which is over Hourglass Lake. And it's perfect because both like merge in the middle. So you have Pop Century over on this side, you have the bridge and the Skyliner hub right here, and then you have Art of Animation over here. And so you do have Skyliner access. The Skyliner will get you to the following parks and areas. It will get you to Hollywood Studios. It will get you to Epcot. Now, and it will also get you to like the other resorts that are on the Skyliner. However, one thing I do want to point out is that when you are staying at Pop and Art of Animation, you do have to transfer at Caribbean Beach. So when you ride the Skyliner, Caribbean Beach is the hub, if you will, for the Skyliner. So you will have to take the Skyliner over to Caribbean Beach, which that's the only place it goes. You have to get off at Caribbean Beach and either go to the Skyliner that's headed to Hollywood Studios or go to the Skyliner that's headed to Epcot. And if you are going from Pop Century, Art of Animation over to Epcot, this is what your experience is going to look like, okay? So you're going to get in line. If you're doing rope drop, there's usually a line for the Skyliner. I'm just prefacing, it does go pretty quick, but do not be shocked if you walk out of your room and there's a line wrapped around waiting for the Skyliner to open, okay? It's very normal. They go very quick, but do know that you are gonna have to wait. Likely going to have to wait, okay? Everything's unpredictable, it's Disney. But anyways, you are going to wait in the line. You're gonna get on the Skyliner. If you have a double side-by-side stroller, you are gonna have to break it down for the Skyliner. If you have a stacked double or a single, you do not have to break it down to the Skyliner. You will get on the Skyliner and it will take you to Caribbean Beach. You have no choice but to get off of that gondola unless you wanna ride it all the way back to Pop Century and Art of Animation again. You're gonna get off of your gondola and you are going to walk with your stroller over to the Epcot. It's straight across. So you've got like 3 points in the Skyliner hub, okay? You've got Pop Century, Art of Animation, Hollywood Studios, Epcot Riviera. So you're gonna walk all the way in, get in that line, get in another gondola that is going to take you over and it's going to stop at Riviera. You are going to stay on unless you would like to get off at Riviera, go to Primo Piatti for breakfast, enjoy the grounds, and then make your way over to Epcot. But if you're going straight to Epcot, you're gonna stay on and you're gonna go over to Epcot, and then you're gonna get off. And then you will be at the France Pavilion / UK Pavilion in between the two park entrance. I could not think of what I was trying to say, park entrance. If you're going to Hollywood Studios from Pop Century, you're gonna wait in line. If you're going early, you're going to get on your gondola, go over Hourglass Lake, stop at Caribbean Beach, get off at Caribbean Beach, and get on the Skyliner that will go straight to Hollywood Studios. Now, some people say that the Skyliner is easier and a better transportation mode if you have kids. I just want to warn you that transition from Pop Century or Art of Animation over to Epcot with a double stroller that you have to break down can be a real big pain in the you-know-what. And it can take a lot longer than a bus ride. I have not personally clocked it, but just know that it can take a while. You do have to carry your double stroller and you kind of have like 2 different modes of transportation. So you have like a gondola here, get off, carry your stroller, get back in another gondola. So just FYI. It is like more fun, like people love the Skyliner unless you're afraid of heights. But just know that it's not necessarily easier unless you have a single or a stacked double. I actually think it's kind of more difficult than being on a bus, but it could be more fun. For the other parks and destinations, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Disney Springs, and your 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, you are going to use the buses. The bus stop is located just outside of Classic Hall, which is like your lobby, like all of that area. So it's right out there. This is probably a terrible angle, but I'm gonna bring you in close because my feet are going numb from being on my knees again. And I'm not going to check and even see what I look like. I'm just rolling with it. Okay, I'm a dingus, and I'm glad I looked at my notes because I haven't even talked about the rooms yet. So let's talk about the rooms and what's inside of them. They have been recently refurbished, which is really nice. They are great. They're not like overly designed. They're simple, but they have little Mickey heads above your bed, and you have Pluto when you pull down the Murphy bed. So you do have a queen bed, and then you have a queen Murphy pull down bed. So that Murphy bed that is on the wall, it will like act as a table, and then so you have like two little chairs, and then it will convert to that queen size bed, and you have Pluto in the backdrop sleeping on that. One thing that I love about the remodel is that there's no carpet in here, which is great. I actually do not like carpet in resort rooms because it's just like kind of nasty to me, to be honest. The bathroom is nice and spacious. You've got like an ironing board, hair dryer, and it's just a great spot. And I will say too that you can like kind of finagle this room around and easily fit a pack and play. We fit the way our room was laid out both of the times that actually the only time we stayed and needed a pack and play. The other time that we've stayed, we did not need a pack and play, but we just put it up against the wall to the left of the dresser. There was plenty of room, put our slumber pod over it, and all was good. Another thing that I love about this room, especially if you have little ones, is that the door to the bathroom is a sliding wooden door, whereas some of the other resorts are only separated by a curtain, which is just not as noise canceling as if you actually have that sliding wooden door. So I do really like that in case you are staying with littles. That is something to note. Because I will say that a lot of people that are, in my opinion, and this could be wrong, but a lot of people are either deciding between the Little Mermaid rooms at Art of Animation or the rooms at Pop Century. That tends to be like a choice that a lot of people are making. The Little Mermaid rooms, they're only separated, the bathroom is only separated by like a very thin, flimsy little curtain. So just note that if that's something important to you, you know, will have a baby or an infant going to sleep early and you want to be able to go in and out of the bathroom and not make a lot of noise. That is one reason why we really like Pop Century. You do have a beverage cooler in here. Please note that it is a beverage cooler. It is not a little mini fridge. And yeah, you've got Hey Disney in here, and you have like just, you know, standard USB ports everywhere, and it just makes the room really updated, nice, and user-friendly in my opinion. I will say that the rooms are a little small, and they do tend to get like a little crampy throughout the week. So if you're staying here for an extended period of time, just note that like sometimes small spaces can be a lot. But I will be very candid with you. I can tell a little bit of a difference of having a larger room when you're staying deluxe. But quite honestly, for us, like I really only feel the impact when I'm in like a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. That's when I really feel that difference. I don't really feel that much of a difference between a like smaller value size room and a deluxe room. Like I feel that we have extra space, but we're still on top of each other in the same room for a week straight, and that has its own challenges. Let's talk about price. So obviously pricing changes, promos change. I'm not gonna talk like dollars, but I will compare. So Pop Century is going to be traditionally more expensive than your all-star resorts, but it's not like unaffordable by any means. It's not like crazy more expensive, but you definitely are paying for that Skyliner access. It is cheaper than obviously your deluxe and your moderate resorts, and then Art of Animation. So like, I hate to call them competitors, but essentially they're like kind of competitors, right? You have Pop Century and Art of Animation, same location, same amenities-ish. Art of Animation has family suites, which are much more expensive than your standard rooms at Pop Century. So really you'd be comparing the Little Mermaid rooms, which are the standard rooms at Art of Animation, to the Pop Century rooms. Like the All-Star Resorts and the Little Mermaid section of Pop Century, they have exterior hallways, like motel style. But yeah, that's just one thing about staying at a value resort, is that you're going to have more exposure to weather. So you can't, you know, get into your building, and if it's raining and you want to go get a bite to eat, you are going to get wet, and that's just a part of it. Yeah, so let me just give like an overall who I think this resort is good for. Literally anyone. Truly, I think this resort is great for everyone. Unless you are like super, super bougie and you won't be caught dead at a value resort. I just think that this is a great family resort. I think it's especially great for toddlers and babies because of that little splash pad pool area. You also have the playground. And the nice thing to note is that you can walk over to Art of Animation. So you can walk over the bridge, like you're going to the Skyliner, but you just keep walking over to Art of Animation. You can eat at their food court. You can play on their little Nemo playground. You can walk around and see the car section, the Little Mermaid section, the Finding Nemo section, the Lion King section. You just cannot use their pools. So just note that. But however, it is nice that you can also like still walk over there and enjoy all of that. I personally don't think like that the big blue pool for our family is worth the extra money to go and stay at Art of Animation unless you want a family suite. It's really cool that you can stay at Pop Century and still walk over and see all of that larger than life theming too, which is awesome. So yeah, I think this is a great resort for families with kids. We love Pop. You have the Skyliner, you have the buses. And generally I just think like when people ask me, I'm booking a value resort, which one should I book? I'm typically always suggesting Pop Century unless they need a family suite. And then I'm saying either Art of Animation or All Star Music. My rooms have always been incredibly clean here. No issues. I don't know. I really like Pop. I think it's a great option for families. If you are not wanting a ton of dining options. The other nice thing I will say though about being on the Skyliner is that you can go to the Skyliner resorts and eat there too. So even if you're bored of the cafeteria food that they have at Pop and Art of Animation, you can take the Skyliner over to the boardwalk and you can eat along the boardwalk. You can take the Skyliner over to Riviera and you can eat at their quick service or Topolino's. So you have better access and easier access to dining options, which I really like too. Because if you're at one of the All-Star resorts, it's just harder to get to alternate dining places. It's much easier when you're at Pop or Art of Animation to pop over and get some diversity with your food. So yeah, overall, I just really don't have a lot of complaints. I would say like the normal complaints for Pop Century is that it's loud, it's a value resort, you're gonna get families coming in and out. People say the walls are thin. I am a firm believer that like hotel walls are just thin. Like I've had people that have kept me up at the Grand Floridian. I've had people that I've never heard a peep from at All Stars. It truly just depends, in my opinion, on the family. Our walls maybe a little more thin? Sure, maybe, but like, I don't know. I don't really think that makes a difference, truly. I think it's just the families that you're around, if I'm being candid. Yeah, I feel like I don't have much more to say because I think Pop is a great resort for families. I think you should really consider staying here. It really is fun. The kids love it. My kids have loved it every time we've stayed there, or every time. We've only stayed there twice, but it definitely is a super cool resort and I highly recommend it to any family that is going to Walt Disney World. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed having a mom perspective who's actually stayed there with their kiddos, fought the pack and play, did all of the things. And yeah, I hope you hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to not miss out on all of the other resort reviews and vlogs that we do. And thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon.